Okay, I'm sure we threw you all off if you were watching your screen there a few minutes ago. I kind of hit a couple of the wrong buttons and put the timer out of whack, and oh well, you all know what Walter says to me about that,
You're an
right?
idiot.
Yeah, see, there you go. It just wouldn't be a day without sunshine if Walter didn't call me an idiot.
Well, you're good at pushing the wrong buttons, so.
Push your buttons. Yeah. So, anyways, I trust you can see us and you can hear us, everybody. Just indicate so. And let's just see here who's joining us today. Persida is here, and Stephanie, and Cheryl, and Pamela, and Marianne is here, and Diane is here, and Barb is here, and Ken Show, Sweet Granny's here, Sue Norfleet is here, Barb Olson, Derek Scott is here, Ron is here. Yeah, so the important people are all here, and happy Mother's Day to you bunch of mothers. I mean, to those of you that are mothers. Why don't they have a day for us? We're not mothers.
Idiots Day.
We're not fun. Yeah, it's every day. Every day is Idiots Day. Patsy's here. Hi, Patsy. So I suppose people are doing things for Mother's Day, maybe. I don't know. Mother's Day. Bah. Humbug. Every day is Mother's Day. As I used to tell my mother. I'm waiting. I hear crickets. Yeah.
Stephanie says we can hear and see.
Okay, great. Carla is here from Kansas. And all the rest. Yep. Okay. So I suppose some of you are having some special events maybe today. And so you joined us for this edition of a Mother's Day. It's really not. It's just the same old to us, but whatever. If it makes you happy. Sherry's here. Hi, Sherry.
Just means they don't have to buy flowers today.
Yeah, like that was the one thing now that neither one of us, our mothers have passed on. You don't have to worry about like, what do you get mother for Mother's Day?
It was specifically more difficult when she was got older and she was in a nursing home. I didn't know what to get.
Who, your mother or my mother?
My mother.
Well, my mother too.
By that time, my mother had dementia. She wouldn't know anyway.
No. Well, I used to always get my mother plants, like her hanging baskets and that for the front of her house then. But then when she went into the nursing home, I mean, what do you get her? A box of chocolates or whatever? And we couldn't even take her out anywhere for that.
I used to always get my mother fresh flowers.
Somebody coming to our door?
I don't know.
How about you go check? Our ring just went off and our door is open. Actually, we took the glass out of our new storm doors and put in this full-length screen, which is really quite nice because we're getting a nice little breeze blowing through here today. Nothing there. Must have just picked up something else then going by. But anyways, yeah, so we're getting a nice little cross breeze through the house.
Yeah, it's only 17 degrees outside, so it's cool.
Yeah, it was nicer yesterday.
Don't have
Well, it
to
was
use
hotter yesterday.
air conditioner or anything.
It was warmer yesterday. Sweet Granny says, boy, Steve is in a great mood. Hi, Andy. Hi, Brenda.
He's always in a good mood, most of the time, unless Lucy's not cooperating.
Yeah, Lucy's been very cooperative lately. Very cooperative. Actually, it's something more about Lucy. She just got a little bit of an upgrade, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, enough chit-chat here, people. Let's take a look at what I've been working on. There's not much to see from Walter.
Well, actually, I sort of started a short again, but I forgot to bring it down.
Oh, well, of course. Okay, so...
Oh, you have 2 stars next to you.
Shut up. Kill the suspense. Everybody knows this already. Anyways, let me just go to the screen. Okay, so this is Stephanie's pattern, her all-star pattern. I have it, well, actually, I now have it quilted, but I don't have a picture of that yet. I thought I might get it bound this weekend, but I got waylaid by another project, but I'm going to do that next week, and then I'll show you pictures of it. But I said to Walter, yeah, you know, this is the one that I didn't realize there was one more step to it, and so I should have. And that was the sashing with the little cornerstones in there. And I put it all together without the sashing, and I thought, this is not looking right. And then I realized, well, thanks to help from some other people, you missed a step. There was another step. So I ripped it all out. I had borders on it, everything. It was completely done. And I took it all apart and I made the sashing and everything like that, which makes it look much better with the sashing. I should have known as soon as I looked at it that that is not something Stephanie would have left out with it. No way. Altogether, very proud. And I finished it up on sewing with Stephanie and Stephen on Wednesday. And I took it, laid it out on the carpet, took a picture of it. I showed everybody. I showed it to Walter, but he only looked at it for 10 seconds, or he would have spot the error. And I think most of you can probably see that. In the top row, I have two of the same stars next to each other. In the bottom row, I have two stars next to each other. Somebody pointed out the two stars at the bottom, and I went, oh, crap. And then someone said, yeah, but you got two up at the top, too.
So you really needed to exchange one of those stars, and you would have been okay.
Yeah, I probably could have, but to do that, I wasn't going to bother. So here's my workaround, okay? I still like it. It looks really great. I did the quilting on it yesterday, and you'll see it. It's turning out really nice. I'm renaming it. I'm no longer calling it what Stephanie called it, the AllStar Quilt. I'm calling it Coupling Among the Stars. Think about it. Coupling Among the Stars. And so if I rename it like that and people say, well, you got two stars in the bottom, the same right next to each other, and two stars the same in the top, yes, that's why I did that on purpose. That's why it's called Coupling Among the Stars. Yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, so what are people saying about that? Just looking here. They love pattern. Sherry loves the pattern. Directed towards the creator of the pattern, of course, which is Stephanie. Derek likes the color choices. Yeah, well, I kind of pulled from my scraps when I made this to a certain extent, although Stephanie was suggesting colors for each of the stars, and I did sort of follow her suggestions, but I pulled a lot of the stuff out from my fat quarters and scraps for it. Anyways, it looks great with the quilting on it. You know, little mistakes, they quilt out. That's what you tell people anyways, and that's what I'm telling you. Okay, so yesterday I thought I'd do something a little different. I bought this pattern when we were out west. It's supposed to make, these can be made into like a calendar for the year, and there's a different gnome for every month, and it's all applique, and they don't come pre-cut on this. Well, I didn't get the one. Apparently there is a kit where you can get laser cut pieces for it. No, I had to cut these all out myself by hand, and yeah, I just had a little fun with it. It was a palette cleanser. So it's my July gnome for it. So obviously Canada fabric all over the place. And I did a little free motion quilting on it as well. And a little sketchy black outline around it. I don't know. I was just fooling around with this. It's cute. What can I say? It's cute. And I realized I got him a little crooked on there, but that's okay. He's a little leany. It's Canada Day.
He's drunk.
He's drunk. He's a drunk dog. Yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to that one as well. And okay, can we talk about my sister-in-law's quilt? This isn't it. This is just a picture. It's one of Donna Jordan's free patterns. It's called Mirror Mirror. And both Walter and I like this pattern. But it's not one that she chose. But I have been just uptight about this whole quilt for her because I think I've spent $500 on fabric for the quilt, for the potential quilt, looking for the right colors that she seems to be suggesting. And I never got an answer back from her when I when I showed her some samples. I sent her some pictures, and I never heard anything from her. And I got thinking, you know, I can't work like this. Why am I putting myself into this much stress for a quilt? For somebody, like I want to make her a quilt, but for somebody who's really looking at the quilt as a piece of home decor, not as a quilt per se. You know the kind of people. Those are the kind of people that if they want something for home decor, go to Home Sense or Walmart or something like that, you know, not have a quilt made. But anyways, I wrote to her and I said, okay, I'm getting a little frustrated with this. The two patterns that you sort of said you liked, I can't deal with those. Because it's going to be a chore for me to put them together because they're patterns that are very tedious,
Boring.
and boring. Yeah, I didn't put it quite that way, but that's what I meant. And, so I said, if you could you just give me creative license with this? And maybe one time when you're out here, they do come out not on a real regular basis,
Well, I think
but
he comes here at least once a year. So.
yeah. So I said, when you come out here, why don't you come and over to the house? I'll show you all the quilts I've got out. Maybe there'll be something already there that you would like. And in the meantime, I'll work on this with your colors in mind and the kind of style that you were talking about. We'll see what happens. So I think this one's going to look really good in the colors that I've got all laid out. And it's not a difficult pattern, that's for sure. But what's the worst case scenario? If she doesn't like it, I like it. I'll keep it or give it to somebody else. I don't know. But anyways, it's a weight off my shoulders now. With all that. And she said, yeah, she did get the picture. She was sorry she hadn't written back sooner, but she's a school teacher. So she says, right now I'm busy as anything. And she says, oh, that's a great idea putting this on hold. She says, because to be honest, she doesn't have time right now to think about it because she's got year-end stuff to do and all that. And I thought, okay, that's good. That works out for both of us. That is a good thing. Do I have anything else? No, I didn't have anything else up there. So let's go back here to us and let me get rid of that and see what people are saying. Diane says, well, what a difference. Yeah. I'm just catching up here on what everybody's been saying. Oh, Patsy says, didn't even notice he was crooked. Yeah. Well, I am not a, I don't mind doing applique, but I have to be in the mood. And, yeah, it was just a quickie little thing. Everyone needs a tipsy gnome in their life, Sherry says. Colleen is here. Hi, Colleen. And Lucy's here. It's hard making quilts for others if they have too much input. It has to be your quilt, too. Well, if anything, I wasn't getting too much input. I wasn't getting a lot of input. So, at all. So, that was giving me a bit of a problem, too. But, I've come to the conclusion, if you're going to make a quilt for somebody, don't. Unless that person comes to you and wants to commission you and they've got a pattern in their hand and they've got samples of the fabric they want to use in it. I think that's the only way. Or if the person lives nearby and you can take them off to a quilt store and, pick out the pattern and everything like that. But it still stands that if they're not a quilter, they don't understand what the process is. Okay. I mean, that's not their fault if they're not a quilter. I mean, I don't know what the process is in building an engine for a car, So I get it. Hi, Yvonne. And Jeannie's here. Hi, Jeannie. Did I miss anybody to say hello to? Did I say hello to Kathy? If I missed you, I'm sorry. Sherry, did I say
hello,
hello
everybody?
Sherry? Yeah, hello, everybody. And happy Mother's Day to you that are mothers. Okay. All right. So that's what I've been up to. Oh, and I've been planning another quilt as well, and that's the Healing Waters one. That's the one that uses the indigenous fabrics. And yeah, I'm a little apprehensive about this one. I really got to study the pattern because it's by this Patty's Patchwork. And I did one of her patterns before with Canadian fabrics that she had designed for Northcott for the old Canada line. And I don't know if you remember, but that was the quilt from Hal. And I ended up doing it my own way. And I said, and then when I talked to other people about this lady's patterns, and I got at least from the quilt store, they went, oh God, no. They actually stopped carrying her patterns because they were so poorly written. And even the lady who wrote this pattern, she goes on to YouTube and did sort of a weekly or episodic step by step of how to build the quilt, and she changed it all. She did different techniques that weren't in her pattern to start with. So really, that tells you something, right? But I like the pattern, so I'm going to really sit down and think about it before I start to cut any fabric or do anything like that with it, because, you know, I got burned the last time with her. So I'm just assuming I'll get burned this time if I don't troubleshoot first. Cheryl says she just asked what colors they like. That's all the input I allow. Yeah, well, I did that.
Yeah, I know. And unfortunately, the colors were not too, was it basically gray and blue gray, and not too bold.
Didn't want bold, didn't really want print, didn't want, I don't know. Yeah, so anyways, we won't worry about that anymore. Hi, Kathleen.
Andy says, when Jeannie makes me a quilt, I'm not involved in the selection process. My model, leave it to the experts.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is that you're sisters.
Yeah.
And you kind of know each other. And it also depends on the person that's getting the quilt, how picky
well, that's
they
the
are
other thing.
as to, or how wide a spectrum of what they think is good looking is. So
I think if someone offers to make you a quilt and you agree to it and you say yes, I think the best thing you can do is simply say your choice, whatever you want to make. I'm sure it will be lovely, you know. And then when you get it and you hate it, you just never say it to their face. You just say it behind their back.
Yeah. My fear is when someone says they want a quilt, they will want a double wedding
Oh,
or tiny applique.
oh yeah, yeah. Well, no, I would draw the line at that and say, well, that's not happening. Lucy says she's only made bed-sized quilts for her girls and her mother. Baby quilts I've made galore. All have been used and loved. I've never made a baby quilt. Never. To me, why?
We don't know anybody that has babies.
At our age, nobody's having babies. And I really don't care if they have grandchildren. I mean, go figure, you know, right. Donna says, sorry, can't stay, have family in town. Good day, everyone. Okay, Donna, bye. Kathy says, oh, okay, we read that. Izar's here. Hello, Izar. I feel the same way, she says, about any crafters. They don't understand our development into our crafts. I have friends that keeps asking for weird commissions, quilts or clothing in less than a week. Yeah, that's always a problem too. And Jeannie says to Andy, I was just thinking that I should ask you what you want. And Andy says, Jeannie, please don't. I enjoyed the surprise when I opened the box. Well, that's easy to work with.
And then Jeannie says Andy's the best recipient in the world.
Yeah, she is.
Well, actually, I think also, just from my observation, is Andy is a creator as well.
Yeah.
Although not quilting. So she understands the process.
The process of creating.
And that whatever you're making is, you know.
Well, it's a personal thing.
Yeah.
When you make it as a creator, it's art. It's art. Art is personal. Yeah. You know, kind of a thing. Jeannie's here from PA.
Jenny.
Why can't I say your name? Gladys is here. Derek says, I have a habit of making massive quilts because I get too involved and can't stop. Made a quilt for my aunt, and I realized that because the colors really weren't my taste, I didn't enjoy it as much. And that, Derek, is the crux there. I really didn't like the patterns that she seemed to like. And when I read, like, the one was these squares, and all it was is basically 3 colors in each square. I mean, you could mix it up more if you wanted to, but they were all the same thing. And you had to make, I worked it out, I would need to make something like 200 and some of these bloody squares, and just tedious. And if it's tedious, I'm going to lose interest in it, and then it's not going to be fun. And no, this whole thing's supposed to be fun. Ron says at our age, it's not baby quilts, it's funeral shrouds. Leave it to Ron to always come up with something cheerful. Thanks, Ron. I'm not making
No,
one
it's
of those.
nursing home quilts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's nothing like drool on a quilt. Or somebody's teeth on them or whatever. But anyways, yep. So, well, we've already figured out what Walter's not working on. So yeah, don't know what's happening there. You gotta have something ready to go though in 2 Saturdays time.
Why?
Because we're going to the club for your sewing.
Oh yeah, well I'll
Master.
be doing a shirt.
Oh, okay, fine. Kathleen says, I'm working on the Pineapple Party by Swirly Girls for my hubby. I have ripped out the turnstile blocks several times, but I love the process. I'm learning so much. And Kathy says, the way you feel about the fabric to Derek can really affect your feelings about the whole process. Yeah, that's true. Oh, they're running. The printers are running, all three of them behind me, but I figured out a better setting for dampening background noise on here. So that's why you're not hearing it. And that's a good thing. Okay, let's move on. So I got a lovely email from Sherry Shamel, who's on here this afternoon, and I asked if I could read this. This really made all the effort that I put into doing the retreats worth it. So I want to read this to you. She writes, Stephen, first may I apologize for not sending an email sooner. I had a health issue come, blah, 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 blah. Okay. I want to express my appreciation to you and to Walter for the fabulous retreat. Absolutely wonderful and truly worth every minute. I honestly cannot believe you do not charge at least a minimal fee. I cannot imagine the amount of time and energy that went into organizing this. The speakers were amazing. Each one gave great insight as well as so many tips and takeaways. I was thrilled to see Stephanie and Russ with us for the whole event. I'm sure Sean would have been had he not had other things. All three were approachable and engaging and fun. All the attendees seemed to be enjoying their time, and many were very knowledgeable and generous in sharing their projects, engaging in conversations and letting us see what they were making. I really was inspired by many. I see what you mean by your craft and chat days costing you money. Also, Stephen, the prizes. Wow. Honestly, how gracious of you to gift so many prizes and some of Stephanie's patterns as well. Kept the day exciting. I truly appreciate all the time and energy you and Walter put in to create such a wonderful retreat. Truly, it was a lovely day and so enjoyable. I'm looking forward to the next one. My only complaint is not having a real address to send a proper thank you note. I was raised old school, and it doesn't seem right to just send an email. Happy sewing, Sherry. Well, that made my day when I got that. And many of you sent very nice thank you notes to me as well. And Sherry, don't worry about not sending a handwritten one. Who does that anymore? And as far as I'm concerned, email is just as good as a handwritten note. So yeah, don't ever worry about that. But thank you for all the things you said. And yes, we have talked about making a nominal charge, and you've heard me talk about this before. I'm not doing it. I'm not. And, and this is the reason why I don't charge for it. This is my hobby. This is all part of what I do while I'm retired. I don't need the money. I don't need to run it as a business. I'm not wealthy, but I don't need the money for that. I enjoy planning things. I enjoy planning events. I always have. And so that's what I said. This is part of my hobby. So I get a lot of joy out of organizing.
Yeah, it's all Steve doing the thing. I don't do much as far as organizing go. All my part is just getting up early in the morning.
Yeah, and being alive and making an appearance for his fan club. Well, no, Walter does do things because I bounce ideas off of him. And he will usually, someone said that Walter keeps me grounded. Grounded or grinds me into, whatever. No, but sometimes I get ideas and think, what if I did this? And then Walter will look at it from a more objective point of view and say, well, I don't know, maybe you could try this or whatever. So I like to bounce ideas off of him all the time. And Yeah, I like it when Walter's on there helping to moderate as well because it gets a little busy. But you know, one thing I have to say about and Sherry brought it up in that it's the cooperation and the spirit of sharing and supporting each other that we have. I mean, that's a lot of people. And there wasn't one person on there that was even remotely nasty at any given time. People were considerate of other people. They didn't try to talk over each other. They shared their ideas, the whole bit. So, you know, when you've got a group like that, in my way of thinking, that makes me happy because it means it's successful with that kind of thing. There's no bickering. Nobody gets into the, I'm going to have a dramatic moment or anything like that. So yeah, so Sherry, thank you so much for sending that on to me. You did make my day with that one, and thank you everybody else who expressed, you know, their positive thoughts about the retreat. And yep, there'll be another one. It'll be in probably October, um, for that. And well, you know, the routine. I will announce it way in advance and set it all up, and away we go. So if you have any suggestions for speakers, um, keeping in mind that they have to be people that are willing to work for nothing, you know, that kind of thing. Then just drop them in my email or whatever in the comment section. And I'm starting a list already, and I'll be checking it twice. So yeah. Um, let's see, what have I missed on here? Uh, Lucy says I have a relative I won't be making a quilt for. They're too fussy and would want to control me. And Iser says the worst requests are those that don't make sense. To use muslin instead of cotton or colors of needlework that I don't normally stock. Yeah, true. You can get some weird ideas. Um, I'm just looking here down what everybody's saying. People are saying how much they also thought appreciated Sherry's email. Iser says, yes, the spring retreat was quite awesome. I love connecting all the other Stephen Walter minions. The speakers are amazing. Yes, the speakers were. Okay, that's enough about the retreat. Let's move on. I did an interview this week, and it's going up on Tuesday, and it's with Shannon Way of Slay Arts. You may be familiar with her. She is doing a lot of things lately with legit kits, which are foundation paper piecing kits. She's a real expert at doing that kind of thing. I think she's trying to, according to the interview, when I did the interview with her, I think she was trying to get certification with them as an an official instructor for legit kits. So if you haven't checked out Slay Arts, Slay as in going down a hill in a sleigh, Arts on YouTube, check it out. But do check out the interview with Shannon that will go up on Tuesday as well. What else did we do this week? Oh, so Chatty, the all Rant edition. We talked about a lot of our pet peeves on Friday, and it seemed that we hit a note with some of you because some of you have the same pet peeves, which I kind of figured you would. So if you didn't check that one, you may want to check that out. Sue GSD is here. Hello, gentlemen from hot and steamy St. Louis. I understand that you don't want to charge for your retreat. A friend suggested that I make quilts to sell. I believe it takes the fun out of my hobby. Yeah, if it becomes a business,
Yeah, like we went to a in-person retreat a while last year, I guess. And I was sewing some shirts, and they said, "Oh, are you going to sell those?" And I said, "No, they're for me and for him." And and they didn't seem to understand why I didn't want to sell them. And I said, "Well, then that's no fun. I don't want to make shirts for other people."
Well, the other thing is, some people look at this kind of stuff. They look at any kind of hobby, any kind of craft where you make something, whether it's quilting or knitting or paper arts or whatever, and people who don't do this, they immediately think it's going to be a business and you're going to make oodles of money from it. You're not. You're not. There's people who do those craft fairs on a regular basis, and I don't know if they're making any money or not from those, but they're constantly knitting washcloths and baby clothes or whatever and stuff like that. And people just won't, and we've had this discussion many times on here. People just won't pay for something that's handmade. They think if it's handmade, then it should cost less than buying something in a store. And it's the exact opposite, really, with that. And we don't need to get in a whole discussion of that because we've discussed this before. But yeah, no, not interested at my age in starting a business. Now, younger people, maybe, you know, um, maybe they could do a business with this if they, but you got to figure out how you can streamline the business so that you maximize your profit and minimize your time. And I think that means hiring minions.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
mean, it depends. Like, I mean, for me, it's just something to do. Sewing's just something to do.
Yeah.
And I don't really, I had a job for 40 years. I don't really
Yeah.
want another
Yeah.
one.
And plus, anyways, when you get business where you're doing something that you like to do, and that, but when you start to sell it, well, you have a whole new set of pressure coming on you because people are, like Lucy said, she doesn't want to be controlled. Well, that's what's happening. Your customers are controlling your design process to a certain extent. Um, so not worth getting into that kind of thing. So Ron says he's doing the crow in the legit kits.
Yeah.
They have a lot of kits with it.
I looked at them. I had half a notion of doing one. I don't know if I will. I wasn't sure if I really want to do that kind of a project.
Hi, Alexandria.
But I'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. They're neat. They're neat, but I've got a foundation paper piecing kit I bought in about the first year I started quilting to do a Lone Star. It's still in the original package. I haven't done anything with it. Keep saying I'm going to get it out and do it. Well, haven't got around to that yet. Hi, Em. Anyways, somebody has asked about our gardening. Well, we'll come to that in a minute. But speaking about Lucy, my long arm, well, the Quilt Path, the computerized program, there was a new upgrade for it. I don't know if I like it or not. They changed a few things. It's going to take a little time to get used to it. One of the people that I've taken courses with for using the Quilt Path, she put out a handy dandy little booklet or set a PDF document talking about the new changes and stuff. But just like everything else she writes, she knows her stuff, but she has a hard time translating it over to other people who don't. So I did read it over. I read it twice actually, and I think it's going to be on a need to know basis. So, anyways, I'm always a little afraid if they have an upgrade to Quilt Path. I mean, you're talking about a $13,000 program, and you really don't want anything to go wrong with it. So, anyways, I've used it now with the upgrade. It's doing what I want to do, so that's all that really matters. Steffi says, I didn't upgrade mine yet. Sometimes if your machine is running well, the upgrades mess things up. So, yes, exactly, Stephanie. That's what I feared too. But I did do it. And like I said, a couple of things that are within my wheelhouse of what I do with it had been changed, but they're fine. I'm coping with those changes. It's not a big deal. So we'll hope it stays that way. Okay, so what else? All right. Meet and greet in Halifax. I think I've heard from everybody who's interested in that are going to Halifax. We have a place to meet, and which is not far from the convention center, within walking distance, and it should be fun. I can't really make a reservation, so we're going to be in the bar area of a hotel called the Prince George. From the pictures we've seen online, it looks very nice. I did write to them. I asked them, what would be the best way. I could have like about 15 people, kind of a thing. They said, oh, you just show up. it's on a first come first served basis. So we are actually spending the night before there at that hotel, so we'll be able to check it out while we're there as
Yeah,
well.
we can probably arrive since we're doing it. We're sort of
Yeah.
hosting it. Well, not hosting it. We're sort of organizing it. We can arrive there a bit earlier and kind of check
Yeah.
it out and
Try to
hold some seats or
and
something
stuff like
that.
that. Yeah. So if you're one of the people that are going to show up for that, strongly suggest you show up. We said it was going to start at around 4. Try to
Yeah,
be
they
there a little.
actually have an outdoor area too,
Mhm.
and if it's nice weather, it may
We'll
be
try
good
and
to
we'll
go
try
to
to
the
get to
outdoor
that.
area.
Yeah.
So
But anyways, yeah. So it'll work out. It'll work out. One thing I am concerned about though is one of the people coming. She's coming with sort of an entourage, and 2 of the ladies have walkers, and I'm a little worried about. Well, I'm sure it's accessible,
yeah,
because everything has to be in this country.
yeah.
But it's the seating in the bar area. You know, like
Well, I think they have like sort of bench seating and stuff
oh
like
yeah,
that. I think they have like at the bar they have bar stools, but at
yeah.
they have like bench type seating.
Well, yeah. Well,
elsewhere,
like I
so.
said, we're gonna try to be there a little bit earlier, and keep.
Well, first of all, we'll be there on the 7th. We're staying there the night of the 7th.
Yeah.
So we can scout it out there and see what's available and everything. I had looked around for alternative areas for other hotels and that. There aren't a lot of other hotels that seem to have bar areas like the Prince George.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, this one would probably be a good venue.
Yeah.
Maybe a hotel place is not necessarily as busy as
As a regular restaurant
bar
or
restaurant.
whatever.
So,
Although they do have a restaurant in this place too, and I don't know if it's part of the bar, if it's
I don't
attached.
believe it is.
No.
I think it's separate because they said they had this lobby bar plus an outdoor seating area associated with the bar for drinks and a light meal, they said. So
Okay, so anyways, we'll see what happens. Just be prepared. We're playing it by ear.
yeah,
We're not absolutely sure how this will all work out, but we'll make it work
we'll
out.
figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Yeah. So just back up here to what people are saying. Sue says, I have a friend who exhausts herself making things for craft shows. I think it's insane. Yeah, I would agree with you on that one, Sue. I don't think it's worth what you get out of it.
I've when I was doing stained glass, there's a lady I know that does stained glass, and she did try making a bunch of she does a really nice job of stained glass, and she tried making a bunch of small items for a craft show, and she tried to sell them, and basically they were outside of what people were willing to pay for.
Well, I also think you're putting yourself in direct line of fire for people that want to make snooty comments.
Yeah.
Like, people walk by and go, well, that's ugly. Or I wouldn't, what do you think of charging something like that for that thing?
And she found that she just really wasn't able to sell them at the price point that she had. And she had people come by and say, well, that place sells them for a lot cheaper. But I know for a fact they were not as nice as what she had.
No. But then there's always people who are trying to make a deal, Well, so you're selling something for $15. Will you take 10 for it? I don't want to put myself in a situation where I have to negotiate.
Yeah.
No. And then what happens is if you don't negotiate with them, they can be nasty and they go, well, and they'll tell other people, well, don't deal with them because they won't even talk to you, like they're nasty or something like that. I don't think you need to put your ego up for that kind of thing, So, yeah, I'm never going to do that. Iser says, I absolutely love foundation quilting, especially for miniature quilts. The piecing works better and the quilting can be done on the embroidery machine. Well, that's something interesting. Never thought of that. Yeah, because you're dealing with little tiny pieces you do a miniature quilt. I don't think I would have the patience myself, no matter how I did it. Brenda's here. Hello, Brenda.
Oh, Brenda, you spelled Stephen's name wrong.
Oh, Brenda, we're going to have to ban you from the site. I'm not a step hen. Stephen with a V. V for victory. Yeah. Okay, just want to say again how much I enjoyed your vacation videos, and I also watched Sean's presentation video at your retreat. It was great. Yep. They were all great. Um, yes, that's what we're hoping, Stephanie. It would be nice because it looks like they've got a really nice patio area there as well. As we said, uh, Yvonne said she did a craft sale. No money to be made there. No, friend Steven.
Yeah, no problem. It's a common mistake.
Yeah, yeah. Just don't ever make it again.
It's funny how that happens with that. People often, like, if they have another Steven in their life, they have trouble converting one
Well,
to the other.
if I meet another Steven, I would probably do exactly that. I'd probably spell it with a V. Like, I usually ask, but yeah. It's okay. I don't get that upset with it, Brenda. I'm just kind of pulling your leg. Sherry says, can't wait to see the interview, Steven. I'm intimidated by the legit kids, but what you
Want to do one
so badly. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not sure. Like, I mean, I think they'd be interesting to do, but I mean, the end product, what am I going to do with it?
Well, they're really not a quilt. They're a wall hanging.
Yeah.
Like a quilted wall hanging or something like that. They're very artistic. Like some of those legit kits are extremely involved, and you can do things that you can't do just by piecing. You need to do it by that kind of thing. Yeah, I kind of thought the same thing.
I kind of like the tiger and stuff like that they've got.
Yeah, those are kind of cool. They've got one with a car on it.
You said about the cats ones. I don't like those two cats ones.
What cat
one? There's a cat one that looked like Cleo.
Oh, that wasn't what I was talking about. I've got a freebie pattern for a simple piecing paper piece. No, for a foundation paper piecing thing that has these wonky cats on it. It's not a legit kit.
Okay,
it's not a legit kit. Okay. I haven't really looked at the legit kits very far. All I know is the ones that I've seen, like that Shannon started today doing a one. She's doing it every week or something with people. She's doing a live with it. Which is I forget what they call that kit, but it's sort of a series of swirls that go into a vortex.
Yeah, it's a vortex.
Or kind of a thing, colors. But anyway, so we talked about the meet and greet. Oh, pop-up sew day coming this Saturday, May 20th, 8 a.m. Be there, be square. There's a link for it in the show notes below when this goes onto YouTube. And there'll be the same link will be there for in my vlog and in the Idiot Quilter and in So Chatty. I think it's already in So Chatty from this week. I put it in. I will be sending out to the people on the mailing list the link as well. However, if you've been to the pop-up sew days in the last little while when we've had them, and if you saved your link, it's the same link because it's a reoccurring link. I don't change it every time for the pop-up sew day. So that's this Saturday. Now, why am I doing one right now? Well, I'm feeling guilty that I can't do Craft and Chat in June because we'll be in the East Coast with that. So I thought, well, we'll do a pop-up sew day instead for that. So anyways, not all of you can get to a Craft and Chat anyways. That's why I do pop-up sew days on Saturdays when I have them. So yeah, all that's there in the show notes. Okay. So, Walter has started working on our hotel accommodations for Georgia because we're going to Stephanie's retreat at New Year's in Georgia. And yeah, Stephanie's been giving us some suggestions and some advice for that. And well, you've got one of the hotels booked already.
Yeah, I have one hotel booked, yeah. I haven't decided what we're going to do on the way back or... we might have to book another hotel the day before the retreat. So
yeah, we're hoping to hook up with Stephanie before then, like when she goes down. We're staying actually at the same hotel she is. Our first night on our way there. So yeah, so that'll be fun. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to that, to the retreat. And what else is coming up? Oh, okay. So somebody was asking about it with our grow lights and have we started doing our container gardening yet? Well, the grow lights are doing pretty good. We've got a fairly good crop of green peppers.
Yeah.
we haven't tried one yet. I suppose we should break down
Yeah,
and pick
there
one and
is
try
one
it.
big one
There's
there
one,
that,
yeah,
that I think should pick.
with that. And how are the tomatoes? I can never see.
There's 3 that are fairly ripe on there that we can take.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm sort of thinking I'm gonna put off gardening until we get back from the East Coast outside, because we don't really have anybody to come and water the plants while we're away.
Mhm.
And I don't really want to impose on anybody to come water them on a regular basis. So if it's dry here, then everything will die.
Yeah.
Right. So I'd rather start a little late and be able to attend to them than start early. I mean, we'll have a later crop or whatever, but
Yeah.
we'll see. It'll
Well,
be just a different year.
We will have, though, some green peppers from the grow lights.
Well, yeah.
And we
Well,
have our lettuce from the grow
I mean, I
lights.
can still do the grow lights and everything. I have it set up so that they're kind of self-watering. So they'll be okay while we're away. And then just I'll start the other stuff
Probably
later.
when we get back.
Yeah.
From it. But, you know, the thing is, here where we live, like our next door neighbor, she's got her flowers out already. Well, the rule here is usually used to be, it's an old thing. You don't plant anything until after the 24th of May. Because you could actually have, right now, we could actually get frost. I mean, the weather's been really nice the last little while, and the forecast is
And actually,
looking good,
we have
but
had years where I was afraid to plant on the 24th of May because we could still get frost and we have had
Yeah,
frost
we have.
after the 24th of May. So,
yeah. But our neighbor's always early. She always gets, as soon as there's one nice day, she's right
well, mind
out
you,
there.
the ones that she's planted are the ones that can handle a bit of frost.
Frost to it, yeah. So, anyways, but it's such a shame because, you know, when you're putting in a lot of flowers and they put in a lot, that's a lot of money to lose to a frost. It really is. So, yeah, if we go a little later to get the stuff in, that's fine. The squirrels will be upset with us. And I noticed there was somebody wrote a comment here about that. Yeah, Ron says, but who will feed the squirrels?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen as many squirrels around because they cut down a lot of the trees in the backyard.
Yeah.
While we were away last time, when we were away in Vancouver, we have sort of a forest area behind us. And when we moved in 28 years ago, they planted a lot more trees and things like that. And it's sort of grown wild over the past 28 years. And so there was a big liability with the amount of trees and bushes behind us for insurance if there was a windstorm or something like that, or fire or something like that. So they went in and cut out all the invasive species, dead trees, all kinds of other stuff. So it looks really bare.
So now we can see the outhouse.
Yeah, now we can see the outhouse behind us.
It's not that close to us, but we can see it.
It's a Boy Scout camp behind us, and there's people usually camping every weekend during the summer in this field area that's sort of way beyond our property fence, right? But used to be that we had so much bush in between that we wouldn't see them camping. We'd hear them, but we wouldn't see them. Now we can actually see them.
Yeah, we were watching them last night.
In that area, they have an outhouse.
Yep.
So we can see the outhouse. And we could, when we first moved in 28 years ago, we could see the outhouse.
Like, it's a nice outhouse. You know, it's
I've never got lights in it.
It's got lights in it. I don't know if it's a chemical tank or kind of thing, but it's a nice little building kind of a thing that they've got. But nevertheless,
it's funny because our neighbors one of our neighbors haven't been living here that long, so they never knew what it was like when we first moved in, and they're upset because there's a lack of privacy now. But I don't know, it's sort of kind of nice and airy now.
Yeah, it is nice and airy. And that we were sitting out there last night eating, and there was a little drama going on. one of the like it was a bunch of kids,
Yeah.
and it's hard to
And
tell
some
what the,
adult supervisors.
yeah, adult supervisors. They had their tents all out there, and I don't. We could hear them. They've been running around
It
doing their
sounded like
thing.
one of the kids had a temper tantrum.
Yeah, someone had a temper tantrum, and so yeah, I said to Walter, we should sneak over there when there aren't any campers and wire hidden speakers up into the outhouse, and then when somebody goes in there, we'll go, hey, what are you doing here? Help me! I'm down the hole. I fell in. Quick, help me! That would be so funny. But anyway, so yeah. But our neighbors next door are a little paranoid about this. So they had a very decorative, well, they still do, a very decorative set of, I don't know what you call them, sort of screens.
Trellises.
Yeah, trellises. That's the word. Up against the chain link fence that separates, our properties from the camp. And, well, you could sort of see through those, but because when the trees were there, no, it was fine. Well, they're now filling in the gaps between the trellises with, wood with
Yeah, because they're
fence.
kind of afraid that people see into wherever their location is,
Yeah.
and
I
I don't
don't
know what they're doing back there.
I don't know. Running naked amok? I don't know. Here we go through the forest. Ooh, I'm naked. Whatever. But yeah, so it's different again. With that, that's okay. It's a little bit airier. The only thing is now the sun though, because
Yeah, I know
it's
because the
western.
trees were up. We're western exposure, so when the trees were up higher, we would get a decent amount of shade in the afternoon. But now we get
Now
pretty
you
much.
get your right in the eyes with that. But yeah. So yeah, so talking about the wildlife, last night we had a couple of bunnies join us for dinner. They have a hole underneath the fence. Walter tried back some time ago.
To cover up the hole, and then they
They
found
just
another
found a
hole.
new one. They just made a new one because that's what rabbits do. So,
Yeah.
fine, whatever. The bunnies can stay. They're big bunnies too. They're like, if you like
I
bunnies.
think a lot of the rabbits anyway, they come through, and it's a safe area from the other wildlife.
Yeah, from the coyotes.
Yeah.
And then we have turkeys, wild turkeys, and they're big and juicy. They're just ripe for Thanksgiving. I don't know. But the turkeys were hanging out. There was all these kids running around there, and then I heard the turkeys too, and I saw them.
I
That and I
think
thought,
they've gotten used to food handouts.
yeah, I guess they don't really. Well, yeah, two doors down from us, they throw out all kinds of stuff over the fence to the
Yeah,
turkeys.
which actually I thought was funny because our neighbors next door were sort of going, well, that's not good if they do that because it may attract the wolves and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And they're the ones that have the bird feeder in the backyard that attracts all the rodents.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah, for sure on that. But anyways, I kind of like looking at the bunnies and the turkeys, and we have lots of blue jays. We have all kinds of birds. The blue jays, especially, God, they're aggressive. Those suckers fight all the time with each other. Um, and then the squirrels, of course, the squirrels are all like lining up now, going, "Excuse us, but according to our timing, shouldn't you be planting those tomatoes? We're expecting those."
I doubt that coyotes want bread. I think the
No, I think they
coyotes
want the turkeys.
they want bunnies.
Bunnies, yum yum, much much. Yeah, we have sat. I haven't cleaned up under our deck, our patio area, yet for the year. I'll do that when we come back from that. Well, I might do it before we go. But we'll sit out there in an evening, and it's all screened in, so it keeps the mosquitoes away from us because we do have mosquitoes. But it's time to go in when you suddenly hear a baby crying and something going chomp 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 chomp, because that's not a baby, that's a bunny. That's what they sound like when the coyotes are eating them. So you kind of go at that time, oh, might be time to come in now because that may have been just an appetizer. We might look like more of a main course. So
Colleen says, hopefully the turkeys can't get through the holes, just the bunnies. No, the holes they're just underneath the fence. They're actually gone underneath the fence. There's no hole in the fence. But no, the turkeys are way too big to get out of there.
No.
And the other thing is, what we learned recently is turkeys actually can fly.
Yeah. I mean, I remember watching that old KRP in Cincinnati episode where they had the turkey drop literally from the helicopters, and Les Nesman was going, "Oh, the horror, the horror! Nobody told me turkeys can't fly."
Domestic turkeys, the ones that they raise for food, they clip their wings so they can't fly. They can't fly far, but they can fly, and a lot of them do roost in trees. So I was looking it up to see if they could fly. So I mean, they could actually fly over the fence if they had to. So
yeah, I guess someone was after them or something.
I mean, I haven't seen any on this side of the fence.
No,
but I think they're probably too fat to.
No, they're a good size. The toms, there's a couple of toms there, and they've got their full regalia. They got their feathers, their tail feathers out.
They're cool to see.
Yeah, they kind of, well, they're.
I hear them in the morning though.
Yeah.
You hear, yeah. Even when the windows are shut, you can hear them.
Yeah.
They're pretty loud.
Yeah. I thought it was Walter gagging, but no, it's just the turkeys out there. So yeah, we live with wildlife all the time, but they will be looking for our vegetables. And those nasty little squirrels.
The squirrels are bad.
Are you going to plant them their own little? Of course, they don't care.
They don't care. I used to have ones downstairs, and they'd eat them. But now they last year they migrated upstairs.
And they're nasty. What they do is they pick it off. They get up on top of the railing. They take one bite out of it and leave it for you. It's like, ha ha, I got it. It's a one bite tomato. Bye. Nasty little buggers. Like the chipmunks. I've seen chipmunks up in the trees lately. I think we might have a good season of chippies. Yeah, they're so cute and they're so bloody destructive.
Yeah.
We know. We've learned the hard way with those. So anyways, yeah, so campers in the backyard, well, we're used to it. In fact, when we moved in here 28 years ago, we had to sign a waiver thing said that we understood that there would be campers in the back. But they've never been a problem. With it. So
I mean, my parents, I grew up in a house that had a chain link fence next to a school, and it was the school play area, and we used to have to deal with the sound of the school play area all day long.
Yeah.
And you got used to it after a while.
Yeah. Well, I'm just looking at what people are saying here. Isra says, I'm so behind getting my seeds into the dirt. Okay, and Derek says, I bought a grow light setup and it has been brilliant for starting off seeds. Had to hold off on starting too many salads, etc. It's still colder outside here, but still really useful and very efficient. Yeah, actually, I quite like the grow lights. We got them. It started off as an experiment, but throughout this when did we get them? Just after
last fall, I believe.
Was it in the fall we got?
We got the first one, and then a little while later we bought the second one. So
yeah, so we've had quite the harvest of lettuce from it, and we've got onions now. Have we had any of those onions?
Yeah, I've had one. Yeah.
How?
They came out real good. Yeah.
Oh.
I put it in salad.
Oh, did you? Well, how big are the? They're green onions, aren't they?
Yeah, they're actually they're small, like a small one that you would buy in the grocery store. Yeah.
So that we cut back on the herbs. We always have basil. Yeah. But we had a lot of other herbs. Like you don't need any. Who needs parsley? We had a ton of that, and we have our chives outside.
Actually, they started growing again. I'll put that pot out.
Yeah, they sort of self seed.
Yeah, and what else? I'll see. I might plant a couple of little things before we go out there, and that I know are hardy.
But one thing that I have started, I don't know how successful, but it's coming along, is I saw a YouTube video where the guy cut off the bottom of a stalk of celery that he bought in the grocery store, and he stuck it in a glass of water, like with some toothpicks, like you do with an avocado, and it started to grow. So I thought I'd try it. It's growing. I have little tiny pieces of celery, little stalks of celery coming up out of this. Now, I think what you do when it gets to a certain size, you can take it and just drop it into a pot of dirt kind of a thing outside. But I'm kind of impressed that this is happening. We'll see if this develops into, something that you can actually eat with it. But yeah, I said to Walter, we should grow spinach, for salads, not for like cooking down, because I mean, you need a ton of spinach to get anything out of it. But if you use it with a salad, and I think that'll work out okay. So, did you ever see if we had any spinach seeds?
No, we don't have any.
Oh, okay. We got to get some
Okay.
for that. Just looking here through house. Sue says wild turkeys fly low, and if you hit them, your windshield will blow out. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, the horror.
That's
Yeah.
okay. I've had rocks hit my windshield and shatter my windshields.
Ew. Splattered turkey.
Ooh, yeah.
Well, they're heavy. Yeah,
They're
I
heavy,
can see
so-
it. They knock your windshield
Yeah,
right out.
right.
Yeah. Colleen says, I do too, Walter. 11 a.m., the noise of recess starting makes me think the inmates are being tortured from 9 a.m. when they enter the school doors. Yeah, well, that's kids.
Yeah. Actually, it was funny because when I was a little kid, and teachers were allowed to discipline the kids.
Oh, yeah. Which meant
when
beating
they-
them. The good old days.
When the school bell rang, they all lined up at neat little lines to get into the school, right?
Don't
And then later on, years later, when corporal punishment wasn't allowed,
No
they'd
more
run
straps.
wild. They'd run amok.
Run them up.
And when the school bell rang, it was just a suggestion for them to go.
Oh, yeah. That's for sure. Bye, Patsy. So Walter did make something very interesting though last night. Where yes,
Yeah, I've been experimenting with pizza lately.
yes, he made it on the barbecue. So explain your process.
Well, I have been making a pizza a while back now that I've been doing a cast iron pan in the oven, and it works pretty good. It's a really
Actually,
thick.
It makes
Crust.
though a great crust. It's
And,
almost like a.
But
more
anyway,
doughy.
I was reading about doing like a thin crust pizza, and you can do it in a pizza oven or something like that. But we don't have a pizza oven, so we have a nice propane barbecue. And so I read that you could do it on a propane barbecue. So I thought, give it a try. You need a pizza stone, and you need what they call a pizza peel, which is a giant spatula that will hold your pizza on top of it. right?
Actually, we've had a pizza stone for many
Yeah.
years because I use it in the oven to do pizza.
Yeah, so you put your pizza stone on the, you make your dough up. I have some dough, a thin crust pizza dough recipe that I pulled off the internet, and I made the dough and I rose it according to the specifications and stuff. And then I put the pizza stone on the propane barbecue and heated it up to about 550. And Fahrenheit.
Crematory.
Crematory.
Yeah.
And our pizza stone turned black because of it. But anyway, it got nice and hot, and then I followed the directions on the recipe that I had to put it on the big pizza spatula, which is like a pizza peel, they call it, and put your sauce and your toppings on the pizza, and slid it out onto the stone and cooked it for about 8 minutes inside the barbecue, and it came out really good.
It was good. It was as good as anything you would get in a restaurant that has, a wood burning pizza oven kind of a thing. It was really good. So, and I love pizza. So, it's one of my
It
favorite
was
food
nice
groups.
to have
Yeah.
it at home,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
Rather than
Well, the dough. Now, how long did it take you though to make the dough?
well, it was a recipe that required kneading, and I did it in my KitchenAid mixer.
Ooh,
And
this new mixer.
it wasn't long to make the dough. I just had to, as yeast, it's a yeast dough. And then you're supposed to, if you made it 2 hours in advance, you'd be okay. I made it earlier in the day, and I made the dough, I put it in the refrigerator for a bit, and then a couple hours before we were going to actually make the pizzas, I pulled it out and let it rise for a couple hours before we went to eat it. And then now you just let it rise for 2 hours, and then you form it into the size of the pizza, and then you cook it.
Well, Sherry says, did you pre-cook the dough at all?
No. I didn't pre-cook the dough. I formed it into the pizza. There's some people that will do it right on the grill, but I didn't do it on the grill. I did
it on the pizza stone.
I did it on the pizza stone. The pizza stone heats up. You let it run, barbecue to run about 20 or 30 minutes with the pizza stone on it, so it gets really, really hot. And then you slide it onto the pizza stone, and it cooks the bottom of the pizza.
Yeah,
there are some people that do. If you look on YouTube, there's people that will put the dough, pre-cook the dough, and put it on the burner. I can't see how it doesn't start to fall between the holes of the burner. But they pre-cook it, and then they take it off, and then turn it upside down, and put the coat toppings on it. And then do it.
Oh, so they're kind of partially pre-cooking the crust then.
Yeah, they are partially cooking it. I didn't.
But you put cornmeal down on the pizza stone first, didn't you?
I put cornmeal on the pizza peel, which is the giant spatula.
Yeah.
And that keeps the dough from sticking to it, right? So that you take the pizza that's raw with your toppings on it, you put it on the pizza peel, which is actually like the giant spatula. It's like 10 inches by 10 inches, or 12 inches by 12 inches, and put the dough on it, and then it'll slide off onto the pizza stone to cook. And then once it's done, you can slide it back onto the giant spatula and take it off.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be our new food choice for the summer, in that pizza on the barbecue. Now, but you made half a recipe for the dough, didn't you?
Yeah, actually, the whole recipe that I looked up for the dough, I looked it up for, I looked it up, and the whole recipe would make 6 10-inch pizzas. So I wasn't sure about the dough. I wasn't sure how well it would turn out. So I made half a recipe. So I have 3 dough for 3 10-inch pizzas.
Yes. Now, can you freeze the dough?
Yeah, well, no, we'll see. I froze the third one. We made 2, and I froze the third one so I can see what that's like.
Well, if that works out, then I would say the next time you make it, if you make a full batch or something, then if you can freeze it, then it's all ready to go. Pretty much when we want to do it again.
Yeah.
A kind of deal. So, Sweet Granny says, try having a pizza over an open wood fire. Real good.
No, we don't have open wood.
We don't have an open wood fire.
There's no open wood fires here. I'm not doing that.
No. But I could see that. If you were camping, that would probably work out okay. And then Francis says, so many ways to make pizza on the grill. I did mine directly on the grill before. You need to be right on top of it, but it can turn out awesome. Yeah, I'm sure. There's all kinds of stuff.
I would imagine you can, I saw some on YouTube that they do that. They can do it right on the grill. But
now, can you do the pizza in a smoker?
Yes, you can. Well, not in a smoker. You have to have a smoker that will go up to 500 degrees.
Oh, why do smokers not go that high?
Some do, some don't.
Oh, okay. Because Walter was talking about getting a smoker at one point.
And the smoker that I would have selected, you could have.
Of course, because you weren't looking. You were looking at it like an elaborate smoker.
No, I was looking at a Pit Boss smoker, and they do have an open fire in it. So,
but I don't know. We're not big into smoked meats
that much, So I decided not to.
At what they cost, you can spend a lot for it. I know my sister has what do they call those? The green egg.
Yeah, well, the one I was looking at was $650. Well, the green egg that she bought's probably over $1,200 or $1,300.
Shoot, I wouldn't spend that for a smoker. I'd spend it for a coffee maker.
Yeah,
and I did, and we did. But yeah, so I don't know. I just don't think we would get our money's
I
worth
don't know.
back.
It's like anything.
Well, I thought you were now. So what? Now you're hee-hawing on
No,
this?
no, no,
Like,
no. I may consider it still.
oh,
I
okay.
have looked at. There's a portable one that you can get
Portable.
that's smaller that you can.
Okay.
I don't know. I'll see.
Whatever. Okay, fine. Yep. Well, now that you're doing the pizza on the barbecue, the next thing you'll to justify smokers, but I can do pizza in the smoker too. So okay, whatever. Ribs, yes. Whatever. With that. Okay, so what? Oh, we got our shot this week. We got the sixth COVID shot booster. With it, we got a thing came through on our email saying that okay,
You're due.
you are due. So off we went. Actually, it was pretty easy. We did it at our local pharmacy at Shoppers Drug Mart. Well, you looked on it to see what the Durham region, our region, was having as far as public health clinics, and you said they didn't really have much.
They had some, but they just had no appointments available.
Oh, so that's slowed down. So we went off to Shoppers Drug Mart. Well, we made the appointment. You could do it online and fill it out. And the only he made mine for 9:30 Friday morning, and he had his at 10:30.
I see. I originally booked it mine at 10:30, and the next they had another one for 11 o'clock. So I thought, well, okay, mine's at 10:30, his is at 11 o'clock. But halfway through the process, my screen froze at the 11 o'clock one. And I had to go back out again. And then when I went back in, the 11 o'clock slot had been taken. So I think it was just hung up on the session that I had frozen.
Yeah, probably.
Right. And they didn't have one slot about at 10 o'clock. So the only other slot that was close was the 9:30 slot. So I thought, well, because the next slot was at 3 p.m.
Oh, geez.
So I thought, well, I'll pick the 9:30 slot. But when we went in, when we went in, we were able to do it both at the same time.
Yeah. Well, they weren't busy. It was a good time to go, actually. We were pretty much in and out within 20 minutes or less. Because you have to fill out a little form, right? And all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, so we're good for another, 6 months? Just in time for the flu shot. So I'm thinking, is this going to be the way this is going to be, that every year, like we get a flu shot, every year we're going to get a COVID shot too? Is that what this is all about?
I guess.
I guess. So I don't know. But anyways, yeah, had that sixth shot. And who's counting? Francis says, yes, Pit Boss. My son has one that works with pellets. He grills in it too, and things aren't real smoked. I'm not a smoked food person either, but I love his cooking.
Yeah, if you grill on it, it won't be real smoked. But if you smoke in it, it should be. But smoking takes a long period of time. You have to put it in there and it smokes for several hours. So.
Yeah, I know. Well, like that one my sister has. My nephew was doing.
But they did
brisket.
it on charcoal in that egg. They weren't using wood.
Oh.
And his process, I wasn't too impressed by the smoked result of his process either. So that's the other thing.
Oh.
Spend all the money to get a pellet grill, and then you find out that it doesn't really taste all that smoky.
Well, I was thinking, you know how we've got that bottle of liquid smoke that you sometimes use on ribs when you make them and stuff like that. So, are they going to taste, if you really smoke them, are they really
Actually,
going to
when I use that it tastes okay.
Yeah, I know.
So, I don't know. It's probably not worth it.
I should just put the money into having a professional chef at our beck and call.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Boy, bring me another glass of Chardonnay and cook something on the grill. Yeah. In my dreams. So what else? What do we got coming up this week? Oh, we're having a friend of ours over for dinner on Thursday night, because this is the guy you've heard me talk about before. We've known him for years and used to all the time. He'd come over every other Thursday night, bring his laundry, do his laundry, and it was just getting monotonous. So we kind of canceled him.
Francis said, yeah, he smokes in it as well, but just not for his mom.
Oh, okay. And anyways, his birthday's coming up, and so I talked to him. I send him an email every week, and talk just to keep catching up with things and whatnot. Said so, what if you're off on a Thursday in the next couple of weeks or something? Because he usually works like the afternoon or night shift or something at a casino. I said, why don't you come over? It's going to be your birthday. We'll have a little celebration. So he's coming over this Thursday night. I haven't decided what we're going to have for dinner yet. Nothing too elaborate. Maybe hamburgers on the barbecue. Maybe pizza. Pizza would be fun. What? Such a look on your face. What is it?
Trouble.
Oh, excuse me. Send out.
He'd probably complain anyway.
Yeah, but that's just, we know that before in advance. It doesn't matter. So, anyways, yeah, I guess we'll have to get him a gift. Well, he likes Belgian beer. He likes exotic beers. So usually I get him a 6-pack of 6 different kinds of beers. The ones you can get that are fancy, or something. But anyways, yeah, so that's about the highlight of next week. Sewing with Stephanie and Steven is on Wednesday, as always. What else? Anything else this week coming up? There was something I thought that we needed to go, no, that was just to get stuff for this birthday thing. Haven't talked to my sister. I don't know if I insulted her. When we got back from the West Coast, I sent her a message. She said, well, we're back. Saw my brother and sister-in-law, her brother and sister-in-law as well. And I just said, the kids are doing well, and I said what they were all doing in the whole bit. Didn't get a word from her. Mind you, she's been a little bit busy, preoccupied with the hockey game, with the Maple Leafs, and all that. Now they're out of the playoffs, so she can turn her attention to something else, I guess. But I don't know if I offended her or what. I wasn't really trying to compare her kids with my brother's kids. So I don't know. Maybe she thought I was. Oh well. It is what it is. Bottom line is, I'm the oldest. What I say goes. At least in my mind. With all that. Yeah. So, plans for Mother's Day. Is anybody being taken out for dinner? Or is dinner being prepared for you? Or are you ordering in? What's the thing? What are people doing for all the mothers out there? Giving them their undying love and everything like that. All that kind of stuff. So tell us, what are you doing? What's going on? What's happening? We don't have mothers anymore to worry about. So, yeah. And in some ways, I'm glad. Well, that's not the really way I meant it. It's not really what I meant. What I meant was every year it was
things that you don't do anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, every year it was like, what am I going to get, Mother? What are we going to do? Well, Father's Day was just as bad, too. In fact, in some ways, it was harder because,
yeah, I don't know. I lost my father when I was a lot younger, so.
Yeah, that's true. You did. Yeah. But anyways, Diane says she went out for breakfast. That's nice. Cheryl said, we did brunch earlier today. Just wanted to be left alone for the rest of the day. Yeah, okay. One daughter's taking me out, Kathy says, for dinner tomorrow night. The other lives in VA, too far. Well, that'll be nice. Yeah, probably nice that you're going out for dinner tomorrow night, too. Maybe less of a crowd because, I do remember, like, brunches.
Yeah, we went to brunches on Mother's Day, and they would charge an arm and a leg for it.
Oh, yeah, they see you coming. Well, remember, there was a couple of times when we did it with the art gallery, had that special thing. And
it was expensive, and it was okay, but it wasn't really that great.
No, well, it was what, about $50 a person?
Yeah.
And it wasn't really worth $50.
No. And then we went, one year we went to that place, the Krebs, remember? We went to Krebs one time.
Oh, yeah,
it was a steakhouse place. And it was like they had a special Mother's Day menu,
Yeah.
and all that was special about it was the price.
Yeah, a lot more than if we bought stuff at the
Well,
regular
a lot more
price.
if we had waited a week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just another thing where they try to gouge on all these things. Well, basically, where does Mother's Day come from? I thought I heard once, I don't know how true it was basically contrived by greeting card companies. So, business. Because not every place in the world celebrates Mother's Day.
I think there was another reason for that. Somebody said on one of our previous shows, but it was, but it was. I'm not sure it was a greeting card or something. It's another thing that they picked.
Picked
to
for
celebrate. That. So somebody that was making money off of it was.
Yeah, they found another opportunity to make money from it. So yeah, just like everything else. Well, anyways, what any of you are doing or having done to you or whatever, I hope it's fun. I hope it's enjoyable for you, and that'll be great. I did hear somebody say on a YouTube earlier today somewhere that they just wanted a day of uninterrupted sewing.
Actually, what you could do is if you drop your kids off on Mother's Day all the time to your mother, just don't drop them off that day.
Yeah, that could be. Okay, well, I think that's us for today. Thanks for joining us. See maybe some of you on the pop-up sew day next Saturday at 8 a.m. is when it starts, but you can come anytime you want. Kind of a thing, you know that. And possibly see some more of you on Sewing with Stephanie and Stephen on Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock. And everybody have a great Mother's Day for those of you that are mothers. And we'll see you next week. So talk to you later. Say goodbye, Walter. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.